It's been 3 years since Animal Crossing New Horizons came out on March 2023. Everyone was panicking, the Canadian government enforced lockdowns for most of businesses, and I, a Starbucks barista slash Animal Crossing fanatic, was absolutely ecstatic, as my store had just shut down, and I was getting paid for my time off playing the new Animal Crossing game. Now, it's 2023. I haven't touched a single Animal Crossing game since the 2.0 update in October, so I got high one night and decided to restart my Animal Crossing island. There are a couple of things I'm looking for when picking a new layout for my island. First, I wanted an island that has apples, oranges, or peaches as the starter fruit. Second one, I want to make sure that the town hall is centered close to the airport or far enough away that I can jazz it up along the way easily. 3, I want to have those tide pools. They're so bad. I was so upset that I didn't have any on my island, and I was always so jealous of my friends that had them. 4th thing, I want to make sure that my airport color is yellow, red, or blue. That being said, I don't necessarily mind who I get as villagers. My previous island, I started off with Cousteau and Plucky, and I loved. I'd be extremely happy to have Cousteau on my island, but I'm not going to reset it just to get him. The island format is the most important thing to me right now. After clicking through starting dialogue and somehow fucking it up immediately, I had to reset and sit through the beginning dialogue all over again. This time, pressing the correct option, I can now enter my name, which I've decided upon the name Ducky, and I've entered my birthday and went with my signature duck look to get things started. After not being happy with any of the initial island options, I reset once again and kept doing so until I was happy with one of them. And after resetting multiple times and going through the lengthy process of entering my name and birthday every time, I decided upon a nice island layout with a centered town hall that was close to the airport. Now all we had to do was hop on an airplane and see what starting fruit we get. Nope.
The last round we're going to use is a 12 gauge confetti round.
And being lucky on my first try, I got apples as my starting fruit, and I was excited to start my new island, being mostly excited for the villagers that might show up. No! No, not them! No! As you can tell, I was very excited by the fact that I had Diva and Sprocket as my starting villagers. So I just decided to keep rolling with the punches, attend the orientation session, and chat with them a little bit just to kind of get to know them a bit more. As you can see, Sprocket is an asshole, and Diva is also an asshole. After Tom Nook gave us a rundown of the island, I apparently ignored what he said and immediately booked it to go exploring, only to get yelled at to go grab my tent. I thought the best place to set up was right here on the beach, where there's a little bit of land just for me to set up, have a nice campfire nearby, a little seating area, and a couple of palm trees. I noticed Diva and Sprocket were wondering where they should be placing their houses, so I decided to grab both of their tents and place them by this pond here that I thought was really cute. Then it was time to collect some apples and some branches for the nighttime party and decide on a town name. And because no one has any free will on this island, we went with the name I suggested, which was the Pond. Because of this, I was voluntold to become the island representative, and because of my crippling social anxiety and the constant need to please those around me, I did not refuse to take on this role. Grabbing my sleeping bag, I made my way back to the tent, just realizing that my airport is yellow, slept for the night, and dreamt of KK Slider. Upon leaving my house, Tom Nook was sneakily waiting outside my door, waiting to hand me a bill, and also tell me about the Nook mileage program. So I checked my mail afterwards, saw that I got a message from Nintendo and the Paradise Planning team, canonically not knowing who they are at this point in the game, and changed my in-game outfit like the little girly pop gay I am. Diva decided she wasn't going to be a dick to me today, and she handed me a leaf umbrella DIY project. Because of this, I decided that we're now best friends, but Sprocket was still on thin ice. I decided to zhuzh up my place a little, and then take a look at the Paradise Planning team, wondering who the fuck they are. With a little bit of freedom to do whatever I want, I decided to take a look and see what they had in the shop, and I decided I was going to spend all my money on the director's chair and the water cooler. So we have 2 tasks that we needed to accomplish today. First, collect Nook miles so that we can pay off our house loan. Second, open up the museum as soon as possible so that we could start donating. On my way to collect some Nook Mile tickets, Sprocket decided to give me this ugly ass plain hat, and I found Diva hanging out in the same place that she always has been hanging out in, and she said that she would like to sit on a bench with a vending machine, and I thought that's just something that I wanted to clip so that maybe one day we can catch her sitting on a bench by a vending machine when we continue to expand the island. Getting distracted by online shopping, I thought I'd take a look at the seasonal items, and I just realized that it's prom season, which reminded me of my own prom experience of over drinking, throwing up, and then falling asleep on my family's laundry floor. After catching a couple of creatures, I decided to hand them over to Tom Nook. I decided to do what any good neighbor would do and delete any propaganda from the bulletin board and decide to post my own little message on there. After which, Diva just told me that she wishes that she could get action on this island, which ma'am. I decided I wanted no part of that, and then I found a balloon that I couldn't shoot down, which just made things even worse. And I found out that this just looks like the invisible dad from Inside Out. Editor's note here, no he fucking doesn't. Also, the movie is Onward, not Inside Out. I was starting to get a bit lonely on the beach, so I decided to start catching a couple of friends to place by my tent so I wouldn't be as lonely. Although this made the front of my path significantly more difficult to navigate, I ended up spotting another friend that wanted to join in on the party, so I caught him, and it was a little squid guy. Now that I'm less lonely, I can now complete my original objective, which is to pay off my house debt with Nook Miles, and then open up the museum. I noticed I had the right amount of money to spend on the handy water cooler and the director's chair, so I purchased those, accidentally buying 2 of the water coolers, and then putting them in front of Diva and Sprocket's house. After that was done, I thought that the easiest way to make more miles was to update my passport photo and titles, completely losing it over one of the titles. Continuing on our journey, I decided to collect some materials, catch some more bugs and fish, and then I finally donated enough so that we could get Blathers onto our island. Now comes the important part of picking a spot for where his tent's gonna go. I found a perfect little spot right alongside the beach there next to the town hall, and was finally starting to close in on the 5,000 Nook Miles that I needed to be able to expand my house.